His story is better than Zack Dick Films. Zack Dick Films has like 27 million subscribers, and his story has 3 million, and he's moving fast. And today I'll be reacting to his videos, because he's now the king of shorts.
Mom ran across the field and got in the ref's face. Are you blind? That's a foul. How did you... I dropped my clear position. Is why you used to love soccer? Does this again? Other parents went and a few moved their chairs down the line. Off. You. Oh, right, parent conduct. You held out a sheet. She would take it. He sat down on the grass. You're suspended from every state of Fisker for one. Game with trying to disappoint.
Ah, man, wait. I just spent 1 minute of my life watching that. Oh, this guy is better than Netflix. You don't need to pay Netflix, just watch his story. He uploads 12 videos a day. So, yep, don't pay Netflix, my guy. His story is just great.
I tore open my only Christmas present, and my eyes lit up when I saw the Pokemon pack in my hands. But when I ran into school with it, my friends were already sitting in a circle, ripping theirs open. Guys, I finally got a pack. I held it up smiling and went to sit down, but Alex instantly pushed me out of their circle. How many packs do you have? Only this one. Alex shook his head while the others laughed. You need at least 3 for a real pack opening. You'll only slow us down. You can't open with us. He turned around and carelessly ripped his 10th pack open, and I felt my heart break. I watched them.
Wait, guys, wait. I'm going to go for the most popular 73 million watched.
My twin brother Chris and I were 9 when we learned Morse code. We tapped messages under the dinner table when Mom told us to stop talking, and tapped through the wall between our bedrooms every night. When Chris got into a car accident and the doctor said he'd never wake up, I pulled up a chair next to his bed, took his hand, and tapped. Are you there? Nothing. But I came back the next afternoon and tapped again. Before I left, I always said the same thing. See you tomorrow, Chris. A week later, Chris's fingers twitched against mine, and I almost fell out of my chair. I grabbed a nurse and she barely looked up. They're reflexes. It doesn't mean anything. I bought a notebook the next day and started writing down every single one. 4 months in, Mom watched me scribbling and said, how long are you gonna keep doing this? Until he taps back. He's not gonna tap back. You're talking to a corpse. Dad lasted a few more months before he pulled me into the hallway. We need to talk about donating your brother's organs. His fingers move every time I hold his hand, Dad. The nurses said those are reflexes. Stop getting your hopes up, son. I don't care what the nurses say. You're not donating my brother's organs. But a week later, my parents called to have Chris transferred to a long-term facility to die, and scheduled a meeting to sign the papers. The afternoon before the meeting, I tapped into his palm like always, but this time, something tapped back. Short, short, short. Long, long, long. Short, short, short. SOS. I grabbed his hand. Chris, if that's you, squeeze once. He squeezed so hard my knuckles cracked. I stormed into the meeting room and told them my brother just responded to me. The caseworker said, this is very common with families who aren't ready to let go. My parents nodded. I grabbed the transfer papers off the table. You're not signing anything until you come see for yourself. I walked them to Chris's bed and grabbed his hand. Ask him anything. The caseworker asked what year it was. Chris squeezed out the answer. Count to 5. 5 perfect squeezes. His mother's name, tapped out letter by letter. By the 10th question, she said, he's still alive. We can't move him. Weeks later, I asked Chris what kept him fighting when everyone gave up. Heard Mom call me a corpse. Heard Dad say donate my organs. Heard all of them leave, except you. I asked why. I wanted to see you too. My twin brother. The flight attendant slipped me a napkin that said, the pilot isn't who he says he is. Meet me in the back to talk. I knew she chose to tell me because of the military dog tags around my neck. I folded.
Oh, this guy is better than the king of the former king. He's now the king of shorts. This guy is better than Zack D Films. This guy is... Man, why are you so good? He's so good, man.
napkin and slid it into my pocket. And that's when the captain's voice came over the intercom. "Good morning, folks. This is Captain Hopkins, expecting smooth skies to Chicago." But something was wrong. I could feel it in my bones. I waited 2 minutes and casually walked to the back.
I can feel it in my balls.
Not knowing what to expect. The flight attendant was there with a man holding up a police badge. The man whispered, "I'm glad you're here. I'm an undercover cop." I knew something was wrong straight away. The flight attendant whispered, "I've flown with Captain Hopkins for 6 years. I don't exactly know what's wrong, but I know that's not Hopkins, and we're flying the wrong way." She showed me the flight map of where we were heading. The plane is heading toward an abandoned airport. I leaned over the map. My body was pumping with adrenaline because it was the perfect place to crash a plane. There's an empty space above the pilot's room. I can climb up and listen to what the pilot and co-pilot are planning through the ceiling. Take my number. If you can tell there's something fishy going on, text me one word, now. That's the signal to move. And to distract everyone while I climbed above the ceiling, the flight attendant made an announcement on the speakers to tell everyone to keep their seatbelts on. Through the cracks, I could hear 2 men in the pilot's room talking. 15 years ago today, our brother died because of Captain Hopkins. Now we get to crash his plane with him tied up on it while we impersonate him. I texted the undercover cop. Now, the cart slammed into the pilot's room door, and the cop kicked it open. I dropped through the ceiling and tackled the fake pilot out of his seat. The cop pinned the co-pilot to the floor. The flight attendant grabbed the radio. "Mayday, our pilot is gone. We need help landing right now." She looked at me. "Find Hopkins, the actual pilot. He has to be on this plane somewhere." I sprinted to the back of the plane, checking every door. I yanked open the closet next to the bathrooms, and Captain Hopkins was inside with his hands tied and tape across his mouth. I ripped the tape off. "Get me to the controls." He ran to the front and dropped into the pilot's chair. He grabbed the wheel. "Tower, this is the real Captain Hopkins. I'm landing this plane." When we finally landed, the cops dragged the brothers off in handcuffs. The flight attendant came up to me in the aisle. I pulled the napkin out of my pocket and held it up. "You saved 200 lives with this." She smiled.
Bro, well, I've watched like 3 videos, man. 3 shots, and we're already 7 minutes into the video. That's crazy, man. Like, please.
Every time we heard a knock on the front door, my dad would yell, "Stealth mode," and we had 30 seconds to kill every light in the house. My brother and I would race through the rooms, flipping switches, yanking cords, shutting off the TV mid-show, while some guy outside banged on the front door yelling, "I know you're in there, buddy." Dad timed us. Once everything was dark, no talking, no moving, no looking out the windows. We'd sit there until Dad did his owl hoot, which meant all clear. Sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes almost an hour. Afterwards, he'd high-five us and go, "Real ninjas couldn't do better." He told us stealth mode was top secret. Never tell your teachers, your friends, nobody. Other people wouldn't understand. For years, I believed him. When I was 8, I asked Dad why we had to hide so much. He said some annoying guy kept bothering our family, and stealth mode was how we dealt with him. I felt proud we had a secret skill that could outsmart bad guys. By the time I was 10, I heard the voice outside yell something about a bet and $20. I tugged Dad's sleeve and whispered, "Is the bad guy trying to steal our money?" Dad shushed me so hard I flinched. When I was 12, I broke the window rule, peeked through the blinds, and saw a completely normal guy in a polo shirt standing on the porch rubbing his forehead. He didn't look like a criminal. He looked like someone's tired uncle. At 13, I told Dad I was just going to open the door and tell the guy to leave us alone. The color left his face. "You absolutely cannot do that." That was the first time stealth mode didn't feel like a game. By 15 or 16, it barely happened anymore. But when it did, Dad would peek through the blinds looking guilty. Mom just shook her head from the couch and muttered something under her breath. I was 17 and home alone when I heard it. "I know you're in there. It's been 12 years, man." I opened the front door. The guy nearly fell backwards. Normal-looking dude, middle-aged, holding a crumpled piece of paper. "Oh, hi. Is your dad home? I'm his old college roommate." He held up the paper. "Your old man bet me $20 Michael Jordan wouldn't win his 6th ring. That was 1998. I've been knocking on this door ever since." He handed me the...
For fucking $20, man. $20. You came there for like 16 years for $20. $20.
I owe you both their signatures right there at the bottom. I left it on the kitchen table. Mom saw it first and laughed so hard she had to hold the counter. Dad picked it up, read it, put it back down, and the first thing out of his mouth was, "So now he knows someone's home." Then he turned off the kitchen light and got under the table. We were never in danger. My dad just lost a bet because of the greatest of all time. Every time I became my school's hero for 1 minute before everyone watched what happened next. I don't play around when it comes to Halloween, so during our school's Halloween dance, I dressed up in real firefighter gear from my dad's closet. Real jacket, real boots, real helmet. I strutted around the gym like I owned the place, until the fog machine popped like a toaster and the fire alarm went off. Everyone cheered thinking it was part of the show until I smelled burnt plastic. Teachers started waving their arms, telling everyone to stay calm, but I noticed the orange extension cord powering the machine didn't stop at the wall. It ran out the side doors and down the hallway toward the science wing. Then someone near the door yelled, "Smoke in the hallway," and teachers started shouting.
But no one will, like, in 10 years time, no one will give a shit about TV. I'm telling you, nobody will pay for DSTV or cable. Nobody will not give a shit. They'll be on YouTube 24/7, man. YouTube is gonna be the king of entertainment. It's gonna be better than Netflix, TikTok. Fuck TikToks. TikTok is under YouTube. YouTube is the greatest, the king of entertainment. Fuck you, fuck TikTok, fuck all that shit. YouTube is the best, the king.
For everyone to evacuate. Real sirens started wailing outside and fire trucks pulled up. The crowd poured into the parking lot while firefighters rushed through the main doors. That's when one of them spotted me standing near the entrance in full gear. "You, with us!" he shouted. "We're clearing the east wing." I opened my mouth to say I'm just a student, but he shoved a flashlight into my hand and pushed me forward. The hallway was dark and filled with smoke. We followed the orange cord past the lockers until it disappeared under Mrs. Carter's classroom door. One of the firefighters reached for the handle and jerked back. "Hot," he said, then looked at me. "Hit it!" But I only had my foam axe. I swung as hard as I could and it bounced off with a pathetic squeak. The firefighter grabbed it, swung himself, and the foam bent in half. He stared at it, muttered, "These damn budget cuts," and tossed it aside. That's when someone shouted from down the hall and he waved to the others. "Forget this door. We'll circle back once we've got tools." They started heading back down the hall, but then I heard it, a squeaky wheel spinning frantically. This was Mrs. Carter's room, and the class pet Mr. Nibbles was still inside. I turned back to the door. The handle was glowing red. I wrapped my jacket sleeve around my arm and threw my shoulder into the bottom panel until it cracked open. Smoke poured out and choked me instantly. The hamster cage was on the counter, and tiny flames were eating the papers around it. I grabbed the melted cord with my sleeve and yanked it from the wall. A spark bit through the fabric straight into my skin, and I screamed, but kept pulling until the plug came loose. I grabbed the cage with my smoking sleeve and the metal seared into my palm. I could smell my skin burning. My lungs felt like they were filled with glass, and my vision was going black around the edges, but I ran. When I burst through the side door, I collapsed face first onto the concrete and threw Mr. Nibbles onto the grass so I wouldn't crush him. I could hear cheering as hands grabbed me, and someone pulled off my helmet. A firefighter was staring down at me. "Kid, you're a hero!" That's when I heard the scream. I turned my head and watched a hawk swoop down, grab Mr. Nibbles in its talons, and fly away.
No, there's no such thing as happy endings. True. So wait, I wanna watch his oldest videos. How his old videos were like how they were. This guy started this YouTube channel like this year, and it's already like 773 videos. That's a lot, man. Oldest video. I wanna see your oldest. Okay. Okay, wait. 2026 February.
Teenager tortured my dog for fun, then threatened to do it again. My dog had gone missing for a few hours, and when I finally found him, he was standing outside another house.
If you do this to my dog, I'm whooping your ass. I'm whooping the shit out of you. I am going to slap you. Yo, I don't mean like that. I'm going to cut your fingers off. I'm going to torture your ass. I love dogs, man. Like, dogs are dogs. Like that. I want a dog.
My neighborhood. He was covered in bruises, his eye was swollen shut, and blood was still dripping down his side. The teenager walked out and didn't apologize. He just told me to keep my dog on a leash or he'd do it again. I rushed him to the vet, but he was too far gone. I had to put him down just to spare him the suffering. That dog was the only memory I had left of my late wife, Helen. So I called in a few favors and found out everything about this kid, his school, his job, his girlfriend. He was enrolled at a Catholic private school, and when I told them what he did, they expelled him within the week. His girlfriend was vegan and an animal lover, so convincing her to break up with him was easy. I sprinkled in a few lies, and she destroyed his car for revenge. Then my friends and I posed as customers at his job and filed complaints until his manager fired him on the spot. His life was gone within days, and
That's bad.
he was walking home after getting fired, I ran him over with my truck.
That you mean?
The popular girls ranked every guy in our grade by attractiveness, so I ranked them. Wait, someone texted me, "Sorry bro," with a link. Every guy in our grade ranked by attractiveness and height. I was a 5. The comment next to my name said, "Average face, below average." Other comments were worse. Would be cute if he wasn't built like a middle schooler. The whole thing was anonymous, but everyone knew who made it. Tiffany and her crew. You couldn't miss Tiffany. Built like Jabba the Hutt stuffed into a Brandy Melville.
Look at that. Look at that.
Pop, but she ran the school so nobody said anything. By the next Monday, 3 guys had deleted their socials. One kid, Darnell, stopped coming to school entirely. I saw his mom picking up his homework from the front office. She looked like she'd been crying. The girls thought it was hilarious. I heard Tiffany in the hallway saying, "It's just a joke. Guys are so sensitive." I tried to do it the right way first. Went to the school counselor and showed her the list. She said she'd look into it and did absolutely nothing. A week later, the list was still up with more comments being added. Someone ranked Darnell a 1.5 and wrote, "Generous." He still wasn't back at school. I caught Tiffany at her locker between classes. The list is hurting people. Darnell hasn't been to school in 2 weeks. You need to take it down. She looked at me with this fake pity face. "Aw, are you upset about your little 5? Don't worry, I'm sure someone will settle for you eventually." Her friends howled. I didn't react. "So you'd be okay if someone did the same thing to you?" She laughed. "No one would dare." I nodded. "You're probably right." That night I sat in my room thinking about what would actually get through to her. Words didn't work. Authority didn't work. The only thing Tiffany would
His oldest video. This is very different from his videos that he makes now. Like the animation is still the same, but the audio is different, very different.
Understand is feeling exactly what she made everyone else feel. So I opened a Google Doc and started typing. Got the weights from Instagram posts, beach photos, anything public. Estimated where I had to. Spent 3 days on it. Made sure it was brutal. Made sure Tiffany was right at the top. Friday lunch, I dropped the list at exactly noon. Within 10 minutes, it spread to every corner of the cafeteria. Girls were crying, screaming. One girl threw her phone across the room, but I kept my eyes on Tiffany. She was holding court as usual when someone handed her their phone. She squinted at the screen, scrolled. Her smile disappeared. Scrolled more. Her face went red, then purple. She was number 1, 187 pounds. Comment, not even Ozempic could save this one. She stood up so fast her chair fell over. Her eyes scanned the cafeteria until they found me. I waved. She marched over with her whole crew behind her. "You think this is funny? This is disgusting. This is body shaming. I'm reporting you." I stayed calm. Body shaming. That's crazy. It's just a joke. This isn't a joke. This is harassment. Is it? Because when I told you to take your list down, you said it was just a joke. You said guys need to stop being so sensitive. The cafeteria went dead silent. The difference is you ranked guys by height and attractiveness, things they were born with, things they can never change. I ranked by weight, something anyone can change if they wanted to. For the first time, she had nothing to say. Her friends backed away. We both got detention. Someone finally dared. The popular girls ranked every guy in our grade by
Okay. Guys, I wanna shout out to History for making these videos because they're great. I'll see you in the next one.